Start with the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We sing God Bless America. Bill, can you start us?
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Barb, you have some inspiration for us today?
If you give me, these are words to the wise for this time of year, especially from Kermit the Frog. I am ready for next week. I have my flip-flops, my snowshoes, my parka, my sweater, my sled, and my bicycle all ready to go for this time of year. And I think that says it all about the weather we've all been experiencing the last few weeks. So.
Thank you, Barb. While she's taking orders, we have birthdays this month, and we have a birthday boy on television this morning. We have Dean Young was March 1st. Brooke Taché is March 1st, and Al Rutherford was March 9th. So can we sing?
Sure.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kiwanis. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, we have some anniversaries. We got a gang of them. March must have been a big month for people to join Easton Kiwanis. We have Salvatore Cachufo, March 1st. Tiffany Grabinski, March 2nd, 2016. Cachufo was 21. Christina Kennedy was March 2nd, 2016. Ken Wildrick, March 7th, 2008. Nick Chambrone, March 8th, 1993. Floyd Merritt, I had two dates, March 9th, 2004. That must have been his previous Kiwanis Club, and 11/11/2021, I guess, would be the other one. Catherine Heller was March 16th, 1993. And Chris Paultz was March 17th, 2009. So congratulations to everyone. It was a busy month, March. We have a guest today. Sarni, would you introduce our guest?
Oh, this is my friend Tanya. This is the first time.
Hi, Tanya.
And Tanya, can you tell us a couple things about yourself?
I'm a realtor. I also have a life insurance license, and I'm working on a property and casualty.
Okay, well, welcome. I hope you enjoy our meeting today, and when you want an application, I'm sure Sarni can get you one to join the club.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't bring my briefcase today. I had nothing to do.
It's online. Why don't we do this? Terry, could you introduce our speaker? I think she's taking the orders.
Sure.
Today, we're really fortunate to have Jennifer Long join us. And Jennifer's really actually going to introduce herself because she knows way more about herself than I do. So, I thought it was appropriate for that to happen. So as we move along, Jennifer, welcome. Thank you.
Do we sing? We should.
We probably should.
Yeah, that's what with the collection development, that's it's through all of the resources, the New York Times, Library Journal, School Library Journal, peer review materials. There's book suggestions from patrons. We'll look for we'll look for everything for purchasing items for the library.
How many people are on your staff at the library?
The staff, we have 48 employees on the staff, 17 are full-time. Our annual budget is about $2.6 million.
Jennifer, are you finding magazines, well, I'll even before pandemic, were magazines still as popular as they were 10 years ago, or are they becoming more popular?
The issue with magazines is not so much the popularity, is the publication. So many magazines are ceasing publications, which is really is unfortunate. And that was even before the pandemic, we saw a decrease in publication. But those that we do have, our magazines do circulate quite often, and our we do have e-magazines. So there are quite a few magazines. For example, Newsweek isn't published anymore in paper form, but Newsweek is available through e-magazines through our website. So so I think that's what something I like to do. I love to page through magazines, but magazines can be a little costly, and then just recycle them. Yeah, it's so when I'm traveling, I will download a bunch of magazines onto my iPad and read them that way.
Well, I was leading up to something that all the Kiwanians in this room have received an email this week, Kiwanis International, that the March magazine that we normally would get is not being published on paper. Now, they've used the excuse that paper supplies are limited, and because of budgetary constraints, and because of the COVID. Well, now, wait a second, we've had COVID for 2 years and the magazine's been coming out all that time. They also told us that the July will also not be published. It'll be online. Now, they only charge the members in this room $8 for the magazine, which is the problem. They have been undercharging for that magazine for way, way too long. And it's finally catching them in the behind. And they are afraid to admit that we can't do the magazine for $8. And if it's a spousal, like Barb and I, we only get one magazine,
Sure.
and then we have an $8 credit. So I'm just wondering where this is going to go with Kiwanis specifically. And I've already sent off some emails to some of the management levels saying, well, then if you didn't print it this month, are we going to get a partial credit back on our dues for the part of the $8?
Right, sure.
And if you're going to be going to a digital, are we going to be adjusting that $8 by pennies? I know the answer is they can't afford to print it for $8. So we're trying to stick you over to digital because they don't have enough advertisers.
Right.
Yeah, I would imagine with, you say you're Lions, I imagine you get a magazine too,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
But-
we still do it this time, but I'm sure so many had to reflect and think about what's practical.
Well, I encourage everybody in the room to look at your email from Kiwanis International. Go on, look at your electronic magazine, and there is a survey in there. They're asking your input. So please give them your input. Tell them what you think.
I have a question, if I could, please, for Jennifer and for Jake and for Dean. I wondered if there's any opportunity for collaboration with the library and our children's centers, or perhaps you already are doing something. I don't know.
I'm Jake Williams from the Easton Area Community Center.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Oh.
So, Ken, for us, we are a local hub of the Cops and Kids Library. So we actually have a children's library in our building. And I know in the past, I came in right after a year ago, and when I took over, our after-school program was down to 12 students, and so all visitations and anything that we might have done had ceased. We're open, to that. We really don't have programs at the moment. Our after-school program is very heavily programmed in a trip to the library for 50 students, really. So we don't currently have anything going on. Perhaps summer camp would be an opportunity to introduce our students to the public library.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Dean showed himself, he was on another call. But I will say, before the pandemic, over the last 17 years, we've always welcomed the opportunity to partner with other organizations in the Easton community, especially right there at the West Ward area, South Side area, just the town itself, to provide those additional support to our children and our families. So I am very open to talk to both Dean and yourself at any time. What we could do, and even if it's just baby steps, it's a way to get things get started. And I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but if our library board is thinking, if we are thinking about moving with elimination of fines and taking away that barrier to access, I know so many children who can't come to the library because they had items out overdue, and if their parents didn't bring them to the library to return things on time, sometimes that's an unfortunate situation that's part of the library business. So there might be a way that we can work together to help provide that direct access. So,
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I will say, I grew up, I moved to Easton in 1973. And as a child, I grew up at 511 Hampton Street, which is no longer there,
Yes.
so they can lot. So I spent many hours.
Jennifer, roughly how much is owed the library on the books right now?
on fines, I don't have, I'm sorry,
Ballpark number, 10, 15, 20,000?
not as much as you realize, but I wouldn't even have an idea.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's
I don't
all
want to. One thing about me is I don't want to ever mislead. I'd rather say I don't know, get back to you, than to mislead somebody.
Do you have the library, the summer reading programs that you used to go into schools? and
Yes.
let children know about
Yes,
the
and-
programming summer. I know that was probably limited for the past 2 years.
Yes.
Is that something that's
Yes,
happening
and-
there? Are
yes.
you allowed access into the schools to promote them?
We should have, it's still a little soon to know about the access to the schools, but this year's summer reading program is Oceans of Possibilities, which is of course not water theme, which we are starting to work on putting together for the library, for our programs and families. So yes, it should be a fun theme this year. But yes, we do, traditionally, we've gone to the schools to talk about the program, but we haven't been able to do that in the last 2 years.
How about any big read? I think the last big read nationwide was Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit 451.
Are you is that in the works for this year or next year?
Not that I'm aware of. Again, nationally, I know things have changed, but that would be, certainly was a lot of fun. It would be fun again to do it. Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. And I still have some information I'll be happy to pass out after we eat, and if there's any additional questions. Oh,
Wow.
sure, absolutely.
Well, for now, how about a Kiwanis round of applause? A round of applause.
While everybody's eating, we had a board meeting last week. Some of the items that came up from previous meetings that we've got a need to put together a budget. Some of that's due to, we've done a lot of the same things over a lot of years, and we're starting to do many different things. Chris is volunteered to help put a budget together. He's going to put together some past history, do a spreadsheet, and that will enable us to look forward to putting together a budget for the next year or two. And that led into, we're considering doing a strategic planning meeting, which would be for the board with input from the club about things that we're doing now and things we may want to do in the future, and also maybe there's some things we want to eliminate. Talked about new members. Everybody's job is new members. We're more active. We're involved in more different things. So we, it's up to each one of us to recruit new members, and maybe Sarni's recruiting a new member today, but it's basically, we've gotten our new members over the last couple of years about by club members bringing in new club members, and we need to continue to do that. Speakers, Terry, you want to talk a little bit about speakers? We're pretty well booked up through May.
Well, yeah, I think Jan's finally confirmed hers for April. I don't know who May is, I don't remember, but.
May is Walt. Walt's pretty much booked.
Yeah,
Policeman of the Year.
right,
Emergency
yeah.
Squad,
Exactly.
and scholarship.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, we're, well into the spring with that. And we have, Jake is here next week. And then we have the rest of March. April's taken care of. May, I think we're pretty good.
I did have a question about April. If two of my speakers can only be here and available on Zoom, are they going to Zoom into, that's the Ready Nation and the retired military general, they'll Zoom in and we can still be here,
Yep.
or will it be strictly a virtual?
We can do. The dressing is vinegary. We can, it'd be no different than if Ken was the speaker right now.
Okay.
I guess that kind of leads to, we were doing 2 and 2, okay? I guess I felt the need that people really wanted to get back together again, so we're booked in person every week now. I mean, we could play some of this by ear, but we could do it either way.
No, I'm just wondering here, I just wanted to make sure
Okay,
that we could still be here and then be via Zoom, or was it just strictly a virtual meeting then if our speakers were just going to be joining us
Okay.
via
I mean,
that platform?
We've got the screen. I mean, we can go speaker view where it's only the speaker. I mean, our senior project manager here, he's done a great job. I mean, we got new microphones and a camera, and you can see that, the feedback from the people online that can hear us. So that's a good thing. And we can offer to members that it's difficult to make the meeting. Some other things, anything from our newsletter people? I mean, it's coming along and it's expanding every month.
If you have anything to contribute, please feel free to do that. Try to cover all the club news and.
The newsletter was stupendous. And what were the rest of the words I used?
Yeah, she said, look what Bill wrote about.
I pulled up
That's
this.
how about us.
I pulled up a digital thesaurus.
I think that Sue and I meet regularly to talk about what we're doing and what, what we can do to improve it. And that would go to anybody. If you have any suggestions, please let us know. This is a work in progress. We talked about, the format and everything that we've done so far. When we put our heads together, this is what we come up with, but it's not just about the two of us putting it together.
We're trying to expand it into the community as well. So we've been starting to send it to our speakers and other people that are mentioned in it are around the town group and everything, because it is a community-based club as well. So that's been working pretty nicely too. So.
And again, we welcome any ideas with regards to how we can expand that aspect of it in terms of bringing the community closer. But and our newsletters go out to the community, particularly to those people that we've highlighted like around the town, so that they know that that's what we're doing, and hopefully with some encouragement, they'll be interested in what we're doing and get back to us. Sue and I also decided that we were gonna do some in-person interviews with people that we think might be interesting to have in our newsletter. So that's coming down the road too.
They meet at the house and I kind of leave because usually it involves more work for me than. One comment to that was each and every one of us in this room can take that newsletter and send it to friends, family, and people that you would think may be interested to join the meeting. So I would highly encourage everybody to forward the email. I know I do, so I would encourage that. PBS 39, I sent everybody a copy. Jan is going to volunteer to work a table. Now, I don't know whether anybody else can help. It's basically, I think, we don't have to, it's an opportunity for the club to publicize ourselves. I know some people said they're out of town, but if you could send either me or Jana an email that says that you can work that day, it would be a good opportunity to do that.
What is that about? I'm sorry.
It's
They're doing a Daniel Tiger event at a church.
it's actually, when I saw where it was, it's the
It looks
I
like
have
the
it with
church
me.
is hosting it.
yeah,
And
it's
yeah,
at
PBS has
what
like
used to
it.
be the Jewish synagogue that was there.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, Life Church, Life
Yeah,
Church.
it's a Life Church.
So they're having PBS is my understanding, just reading Neil's now and the email that he received from the woman who's overseeing the event for PBS is that Daniel Tiger is big among the preschool set. So they're having a meet and greet with Daniel Tiger, and so they're bringing families in. It looks like time to come in and meet and have their picture taken, do some crafts. So they're asking people, different organizations to set up a table, so families can do crafts at the table. And I'm going to find out more information, but I think it's a great way to promote literacy, which Kiwanis do all the time, right? And engage families. And I had a stack of Kiwanis bookmarks. I thought, well, this is promoting literacy, and maybe we can hand those out to promote our organization and maybe let people know that we're here and more about the member. But I thought it'd be good to go. It's on a Saturday, it's March 26th. So they're looking for people to help set up, break down, and then actually work the event in different capacities.
And if I'm not mistaken, you get a free T-shirt.
You do. That's why I'm going.
Yep. Your free good neighbor t-shirt.
I'm a good neighbor.
Yep.
So I would love to participate if anybody else is interested in participating. I think Neil said I could just reach out to the PBS women, so I'll be the point of contact, let me know. And we could maybe have a team of Kiwani team do this to represent our Easton branch.
It's on, where's the date? It's Saturday, March 25th.
26, right? 26?
26, it's Saturday, March 26th. It's called Be My Neighbor Day at the Life Church in Easton. It's the program itself is from 10 to 2, but they're also looking for setup and breakdown. That starts at 7 in the morning, breakdowns from 2 to 5. I sent an email last week, so everybody should have received it. It probably got lost with the other 5 emails I sent and Bill's couple emails, so I will resend it, but I think it's a good opportunity to get our name out in the neighborhood. So take a look at it. And get back to Jan, Ryan. Thanks for volunteering, Jan.
No problem. Thanks for putting that opportunity in front of me.
We're gonna have a meeting today, a dinner for awarding Charlie Price, Charlie Price, used to work with Charlie Price. Charlie Adams. His lifetime membership is gonna be on March 30th at the Pomfret Club. And more details will be coming out shortly.
We're gonna give him 3 life sentences that night.
Yeah, after the meeting, we're gonna approve an invitation that, to the dinner. So look for that also in an email. And for those, Joanne will not neglect you. We will be sending you one. And anybody else who needs to get one in a different format. As soon as we have it approved, and so look for it in the very, very near future, because there will be a deadline on there in terms of getting information. It's gonna have an RSVP, and the RSVP is gonna be back to me, so if I don't hear from you one way or another, you'll probably hear from me, okay? Anything else?
Should we mention why Charlie's getting life awards?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Charlie has been a member of Easton Kiwanis for 6 months less than me, which means almost forever. And Charlie, he's very busy over all these years in his own business, but he has always been involved for close to 40 years in the IU 20 Kids Christmas Party up until the last, let's say, 2 years. And he's still involved because he gets the bears for that. He's been involved in 40 years of selling our super raffle tickets. When we started our super raffle about 40 years ago, we had sell 200 tickets. Charlie and myself, I was still in business. Charlie and I would sell 150 of the 200 tickets. And so we've slowly backed away, and Charlie still sells 25 or 35 of those tickets. But he's been involved behind the scenes many times. If we need something, he'll do it. So we're making him a life member. And Easton Kiwanis, the club itself, has never had a club life member. It's never been talked about. You can get a life member in Kiwanis International. You can get a life member in Pennsylvania Kiwanis. He's getting Pennsylvania Kiwanis. He's getting Kiwanis International. The awards are on my desk at home. But we're also creating a new award for Kiwanians from Easton. It will be a life member of Easton Kiwanis, along with the other memberships. So that's a little bit for those of you who don't know Charlie. It's a little bit about his background.
Thank you, Bill. Oh, and that leads us into the most important thing here, and I forgot to mention it, Joanne. We'll talk about the super raffle.
Well, we're working on what we have to get so that we can get the tickets. I hope in the next 2 weeks. What do you think, Bill?
As soon as we pick the location and
Yeah, that's
That's
what's
kick-
holding us up. It's either the Pomfret Club or here. It's wherever we're getting the best deal, because the tickets are $100. As you know, Chuck Snyder is no longer with us, and he always sold about 40 tickets. So that means instead of giving every member 2 tickets to sell, I'm probably gonna have to give you 4 to try to get out there and sell. Now, what I'd like to do, because we have so many new members, is as soon as we get the tickets at one of the meetings, I'd like to set up a setup to show you what this is about, how we go about it. Because most of the raffles, the first ticket pulled out is the winner, okay? Not us. It's the last guy that's pulled out.
we are officially,
We do have prizes for the first, but it's the last one that counts. So I want to go over all this. I want to tell you what to tell the person that you're trying to sell the ticket to, that there could be done in groups. Like you might have, we'll take, for instance, the library. Okay, you might have 4 people that want to go together, so forth and so on. So I'd like to have during one of the meetings that we go over this. We show the ticket and we show you, some ways to attract of getting the money that we need for these, tickets to sell. So,
I have a question.
yeah,
Do you have a list of like Chuck's people?
yes, I do.
yes, we do. Yeah.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
We'll share it with you.
There'll be a few changes this year on the ticket. We're gonna have deadlines because, as you know, people come in the last day of the raffle with money and we're trying to get everything settled. That's unprofessional. We have to do this in a professional way, and it will be done that way.
And Sarni and I have set up a Venmo account.
Yes.
So we will be promoting this on social media. So when it goes out on social media, and it will be hitting a lot of people, if you're saying, yeah, I'll wait till I get time to get my ticket, you better order your ticket right away.
And let me know if you'd still like it to be on Eventbrite.
Yeah, well, let's get to the date. I want to get to that part of it before
But the history has been for the last several years, we've always sold all 200 tickets.
Yes.
In the last couple of years, people, well, when we did it the last couple of times, people have been looking for tickets at the end and they're not, they bought tickets in the past and they haven't been available.
I've been doing some homework trying to figure out how to do it with Venmo and all these other things. And believe it or not, we have what's called, and I never knew it was called this, it's a reverse raffle. It's actually what's referred to as reverse raffle. And again, for those of us that are newbies in the room, when we get down to the last 5 names, if they have so chosen, because when you sell the ticket, we're going to ask you to find out, are they willing to split the pie or go for broke? So we're down to the last 5 tickets. If all 5 people are in agreement, even if they're not in the room, they split $10,000 equally. But if one person says no, then we have to keep drawing until we're down to equal splits. So we'll go into more details, but it's a reverse raffle and the grand prize is $10,000. Yes.
If you don't sign your ticket and you're not here, we assume that you're not willing to split, okay? Don't they, Watson? Isn't that true, Watson?
We'll be putting that on the rules and regulations on the ticket this year and be talking about it.
As a football coach, I've been involved in raffles, the same premise. Now, is this held at a public event like a?
It'll be our lunch dinner. And hopefully it'll be on Zoom.
Yeah.
Because, well, we had it during a dinner and we gave, those people that were pulled out, we gave them a chance to buy back in, which generated additional revenue.
We've never thought about that, but that's.
Yeah.
Well, we have a 50-50 going on.
Well, yeah, we also do a 50-50 that day for $10 and some people will buy 10 50-50
Right.
tickets.
But like I said, we could do that at a.
Yeah, on a good year, we generate $8,000 net for the club.
Right.
This year.
Generated $10,000 net for me.
Yeah, yeah.
What taxes?
You was a-
Until after. You go over the years, I've lost more than that. He used to go away, he was in Cape Cod, and it was number,
Yeah.
it's 10,000 grand, 10 grand.
That was your
I
first
told him,
year.
I said, you won something.
Watson, that was your first year in the club, wasn't it?
You're a new member.
Right,
I didn't think it was that long. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I remember
See,
It
that.
was.
Now you
We
know,
remember.
now you know it
We
pays to,
remember.
it pays to join Kiwanis.
You paid our dues for the next couple of years.
It's a fun activity to watch.
Yeah.
Especially when you see somebody whose tickets draw at number 2 and they know right at the beginning of the drawing they didn't win anything. So,
Well, the date is June the 15th, so circle your calendar. Wednesday, June the 15th.
With the increasing rate of inflation, people might think $100 is not too bad.
Yeah, you're absolutely
I'm
right.
sure you got
Good point.
Oh, and we're soon I'm gonna be asking some people, we need a nominating committee for next year. Asking a few people to join that. That's all I have. Does anybody have anything else?